He's coming. He's going to get there. Yes, the Claws won it. What a champion, mate.
Righto, kia ora and good evening to everybody. We're coming at you live from the Export Gold Beer Garden studio for the first time. Apologies for the technical difficulties. We thought this was a professionally run operation, but clearly not. We were early and we're starting late. But anyway, I'm Matt Davies. We're here with our fearless leader, Luke Kemmies. How are you, mate?
Very well, mate. Some things don't change, we're a little bit late. But anyway, we're here. We've made it. We're up ready for another spring set of racing. Bring it on.
We are indeed. Another man who's ready for a big spring of racing. He's travelled all the way up from the South Island. He's ready to roll. Ed, how are you, mate?
Oh, fantastic. A little bit starstruck, actually. Huge fan of the ACC, so we're actually here in person. It's, pinch me.
You're first. Absolutely first. How was the trip up?
Oh, it was pretty punishing. A whole 1,125 kilometres. Bypass. Went to Eketahuna to some family friends, and it was a lovely farmhouse, some nice barbecue steak rolls, and it was beautiful.
Sounds good. Bloody hell. Righto, good work. Well, in case everybody didn't know, we are the Boys Get Paid. We'd like to welcome in our listeners, or our long-time listeners, so to speak. It's good to have you with us. We obviously promised a bit of a change this season, and you've seen it. You've got it. We're we're partnering with the ACC again, coming live from the Export Beer Garden studio. And we'd also like to welcome in all of our new listeners as well. Hopefully you guys enjoy the show. Basically, what we're going to be running through tonight is who the hell is BGP and how the hell did we get here. Luke's got plenty of good yarns to tell us around that. We'll be talking about a few punters clubs that are coming up this season and other bits and pieces around the Karaka Millions. We'll dive into some of the racing this week with the Foxbridge Plate, starting out with the big group race of the week, starting out the spring. And we'll finish off with some of our best bets. So if you can hang on in there, hopefully we can win you some money at the end of the show. We'll also be enjoying some export golds along the way. Luke, you enjoying those exports?
They're bloody good, actually. I grew up drinking tui, but this is, a bit of a change, so actually quite enjoying it.
Jeez, we've got producers now, mate. Are you allowed to mention the other sponsors' content?
Whoops. I'm not very good on the rules.
Don't worry about it, mate. Right, well, let's rip into it. As we said, we're the Boys Get Paid. Our podcast now in partnership with the ACC. We're bloody happy to be here. It's a pretty amazing studio. But to give everybody some context around who Boys Get Paid is, how we've got here, Luke, do you want to take it away, mate?
Yeah, so, a lot of people will be familiar with BGP that have tuned in for a long time, but for some of our newer listeners, so BGP started as a Facebook group, Boys Get Paid, back in the day so that we could have a chat around what horse we were going to be backing on the weekend, and Dwan White, a guy I went to school with, he set that up, and there were sort of 5 of us, and it grew to 10, 20, 200, and just kept growing, and now we've got about 22,500 people in that Facebook group, and then we've managed to build our own app out along the way and have an Instagram presence and an email and all those different types of things. But it's really a community of younger people that are interested in racing, and that's what brings us together and helps us meet more like-minded people, so that hopefully when we go to the track or go to a pub, you can bump into someone that likes having a beer, having a bet, and it's not sort of, oh, why are you doing that? You shouldn't be doing that. That's a bad thing to be doing. And that's what the core of it is a community. And obviously along the way we've built out the Karaka Million, which is a pretty big event these days, and then we started some punters clubs and having a crack at that. And then here we are today, launching the podcast for the first time with the ACC boys. So, these things they take a bit of time, but it's bloody cool to look back on.
Big time, mate. You mentioned the Karaka Millions. So for those that don't know out there, that's basically our biggest 2- and 3-year-old races of the season. Everything from basically this weekend of racing points towards that. I think it's on January 22nd this year. And last season, I think Punters Club at the Karaka Millions reached about, $900,000? Is that right, Luke?
We started with 660,000, and we had $1 million bet finishing in the last race. We just needed a horse to place, and as they do, didn't quite get the job done. So we didn't win the million in the end, but we ended up with, I think, a profit of 145,000. So I think everyone got a 25% return, which is tax-free, of course, and better than the bank on the night.
We should have mentioned that Luke's a financial advisor, so that kind of makes sense. Ed, you've obviously had some experiences with Boys Get Paid, Karaka Millions last season as well, mate. Give the people out there some knowledge about what that day's like.
Well, it was bloody fantastic. A few bunch of us lads, had a few beers beforehand and then went across to the Big E and just got stuck in, really. It was a fantastic, first race where I think it was $5.50 the punt was on, and we just, got stuck in, and couldn't even believe it. Just came up the rail and you're just like, hang on a minute. the boys are getting paid straight away.
Good. That's what it's all about.
That is what the name is about. The boys get paid, and that's what sort of started the name. Was we'd go to the track, we'd back a winner. It was a high five after. The boys get paid, in the old in the circle. So that's where the name came from. And yeah, I mean it's obviously all inclusive, and we've got plenty of people from all walks of life come along, all ages and women as well. But yeah, that's the name.
Yeah, and I think it's it's an amazing thing. The horse racing industry is a great place, but we mentioned to some people, we obviously made the announcement we're jumping on board with the ACC, and some really credible people in horse racing have been saying how good that is and how great a fit that is for the ACC, taking horse racing to a new audience. So hopefully we can help do that. We own some horses, Luke.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we've got a few shares. So we've brought two shares and two horses in January. One is with Stephen Marsh and one is with the Tiako crew, and we'll probably touch on both of those trainers later on in this podcast. We've also got another one with Tiako. We've got one over in Australia that's getting ready at the moment with Bjorn Baker, who's an ex-Kiwi trainer, and I'm sure we'll introduce the community and new listeners to Bjorn as we go as well. And we've got one with the Freedmans as well called Awapuni Princess, which is a bit of a throw to Matt, who runs some admin from Melbourne and has Punt IQ, and his nickname is the Awapuni Prince. That's where we grew up watching racing at Awapuni and Palmerston North, so the Princess was sort of named after him. And yeah, we've tried our hand at horse ownership, and we're learning the ups and downs, and the goal ultimately is to win the Karaka Million with 1,000 of us on course of $1 million Punters Club and the BGP Silks and winning the race. So I think I'll probably give up after that.
Mate, fair enough. How can people get involved with Boys Get Paid, mate, apart from listening to the podcast?
Yeah, I guess if you're listening to this for the first time, you probably want to download the BGP app or jump on Instagram, jump in the Facebook group, jump on the Facebook page, and you're going to start to see some of the updates. Get the app. We send out North Island tips when they're racing in the north, and then Ed's going to start doing some of those in the south as well. So that's sort of some of the tips and things to be backing. And obviously, bet responsibly and don't expect everything to win, but you start to then learn how these things, or how racing works, and then get a part of the community, start to come to some of the events, link up with other people that are involved with horse racing and BGP, and the whole thing is really to get around each other and actually enjoy something that is pretty special and close to us. Obviously, us lads that sort of started this, and just see where it takes you.
It's amazing. I'm actually just looking over that screen in front of us that's showing us on this podcast. Normally we're sat here on the internet and it's lagging. We're really struggling, mate. Have we made it or what? What's going on?
So, mate. It's bloody good, isn't it? The beers are free.
Mate, the beers are free. What a result.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Karaka Millions, do you want to sort of let everybody know what's happening this year? But firstly, do we have any idea from the Ellerslie Racing Club CEO or Auckland Racing Club CEO how big the bar tab at the Karaka Millions from the Boys Get Paid is? Do we know what goes across the till?
I think a fair bit gets spent in that room, that's for sure, over the tote in terms of people having a bet and then people having a beer. I think we nearly drank them out of one of the beers that they had last, in January. So, yeah, this time we might get some champagne. Hopefully we can get that $1 million bet home, and we might drink them dry from that too. But, yeah, we'll be going back to Ellerslie. So the race, the Karaka Million, is actually going to be in Pukekohe this January coming up because they are renovating the Ellerslie track. We're actually going to host our event in Cuvée, which is the premium area of the Big E, Ellerslie, and we're going to be right into it with the Punters Club and have hopefully 500 odd people there screaming them home. Excuse me, and we we too many beers there. We not going to have the horses at the track, obviously, but we're going to have big screens and all that sort of thing. And there's going to be, usually we put on some free beers and a free feed as well. So be looking forward to getting some people signed up to come along to that. And if you're listening to this to the first time, that could be the best race day you'll ever come to. And we try and make it an absolutely hell of a day. So especially when you couple that with the Punters Club and the live energy of screaming home $100,000 bets, things get out of hand pretty bloody early.
Big time. And you mentioned, Ed, mate, the Southern man. You've come all the way up to Auckland, second day in the Big Smoke, but heading down to Christchurch for New Zealand Cup Week, which I believe is in the first week of November. You're going to find the lads some winners down there?
Well, I hope so. It'd be, a bit of a head scratcher if I couldn't find a winner or two that week. But in saying that, there are some bloody good horses and some really good racing, so I'm definitely looking forward to that and linking up with a few of the BGP crew on track and see if we can get a bit of an atmosphere going and yelling at the horses down the home straight.
Good man. What have we got planned for that, Luke?
Yeah, so we're going to have a crack for the first time at doing a week-long punters club effectively. So the Melbourne Cup will finish the Tuesday before. Then the option will be open from the TAB, and we'll be able to buy in, add a TAB on your app, on their website, or even in store. There'll be an option number for it. You can put anything from 10 cents into 10,000, 100,000, whatever you got, but just be careful if you're putting 100k in there. But so maybe Matt, you maybe.
Oh, Ed tried to encourage me to sell the house on a $1.35 punt on Saturday. It came home, but only by a nose.
Oh, you could add 135,000.
Which one was that?
What was that, Catherine? You were in the crowd, mate.
That was a dirty Sunday in Oamaru, mate.
I mean, who's betting on a Sunday? Unbelievable.
So we're going to load the old punters club up a week out, and then our New Zealand Cup week kicks off from the Saturday, but we're going to miss the first Saturday just to give us a bit of time to build the bank. And then our first day of betting is going to be the Tuesday, which will be Cup Day. And then Wednesday we've got the Gallops, Thursday we've got the Greyhounds, Friday we've got the Harness, and then Saturday we've got the Gallops again. So it's going to be 5 days of BGP versus the bookies, and winner takes all, so to speak. And they're up for it, we're up for it. So we're going to have a week to build a pool, and I'd love to have as many people as we can involved in that, and you'll be able to follow all of those updates via BGP social channels and also the app. So looking forward to getting cracking in that in November. We've got some good people behind the scenes that are willing to have a crack at some of the tipping, and we're going to get on course for a couple of those race meets as well. So that's going to be the first time we've done something like that, and I reckon I could be pretty bloody exhausted by the end of it.
So Cup Week, Christchurch, be there.
Be there. Yeah, get down there. Be a part of it.
Get involved. As you mentioned, mate, there's a lot of other people behind the scenes as well. Lad Benny Masters, he's over in Europe at the moment. I think we've already talked about him last week, but he is sunning himself. For those people that don't know him, he'll be a regular on the scene as well. We've got Ted, who just tips winners for fun. We've got the GOAT. We've got Matty over in Australia. There's plenty around the crew, eh?
Yeah, there's a big contingent of people that make BGP work, and that's the cool thing about it. It's not just one person, and it's really a community vibe, and people put their hand up when things need to be done. On Benny Masters, he's actually got down on one knee as well. So when he gets back, he will be needing the free beers, I'd imagine, because I think it's a pretty expensive thing to do that, and he's going to need some winners as well. So I reckon he could be pretty dialed in this spring, because he's going to be looking for a way to pay back the old rock on the soon-to-be wife's finger.
You've heard it here first. He's already spent 20 grand in Europe. Now he's going to have to spend 40 grand on a wedding.
Yeah.
Jeez, life choices.
At least.
What do you reckon?
He'd probably get married in Palmerston North, mate, down by the Manawatu River. So it's probably about 13 grand.
The Awapuni Racecourse, surely.
Yeah, great spot. Silks, the Silks Lounge.
Jeez, racing coming to you live from Awapuni this Saturday. What do you say to allegations that BGP... There was an allegation actually this morning on the ACC channels. What do you say to allegations that BGP only tip $1.35 winners?
Get fucked. Probably be the first thing I'd have to say. But, cool, mate. Why don't you run a punters club and then see how fucking hard it is. But
It fires them up.
Nah, look, you're always going to cop that. And, hey, look, we back what we like. And sometimes we'll back something that's rough. Sometimes we'll back something that's short. But ultimately, the saying is that you don't go broke backing winners. You've just got to try and find them. And if they're $1.30 through to bloody $30.90, you've got to have a crack. And, bring it on.
If it's $1.35 thrown into multis, it actually made me a little bit nervous, like punting a $1.90 favourite, which we're about to get into. But mine's paying $2.70 this week. Yours is paying... We're not going into best bets yet, but what's your best bet paying?
$2.50.
Mine hasn't come up. It's at Wagga Harness. I'm going to rock that. It's called Zambia, and the markets will come out at 9 o'clock tonight on Bet365.
Okay.
So.
Well, we'll get... We'll get to it. We'll get to it at some point. But I think it demonstrates we're not just going to try and punt $1.30 favourites.
No. There's a $6 best bet here later on as well. So
good, mate.
I mean, obviously, how betting works is that the TAB set a book based on the probability of the horse winning that race, and the more likely that horse is to win the race, the less that horse is going to pay. So if a horse is paying $1.30, it should be bloody winning. But that's. Some people don't like betting on the short. Some people like betting a bit longer. But ultimately, we're all trying to find an edge, or we're trying to find value. So we're trying to find something where we say, you know what, that $1.30 should actually only be $1.10 because it's going to win. It's guaranteed to win. And if they're going to give me 30% of my money to watch this for a minute 20, then that's a great bet.
Big time. And we should throw in here another responsible gambling or gamble responsibly. Just, don't put your house on Catherine on Sunday at Oamaru horse harness.
Did it get home, though?
It got home.
Thank you.
Didn't have the house on it, which I'm pleased about. Look, lads, that's probably enough context about BGP. Hopefully we've got everybody excited about the Karaka Millions, the Punters Club coming in, listening to our pod every week, and hopefully screaming some winners home on the weekend. This Saturday, we've got a big race meeting down at Te Rapa with the Gallops. There's obviously harness going on as well, and there's a race meeting at Awapuni. But for those out there that don't know, the Foxbridge Plate essentially is the key group race leading into the Spring Carnival, which is happening over the sort of September-October period in Hawke's Bay. Foxbridge is a big enough race on its own, but it really gives you a good guide into those Group 1 races. So that's the main one this Saturday. So that's what we're going to dive into a little bit. Luke, mate, where do you reckon we start? We've got Imperatriz as $1.90 favourite in the race. That's pretty short. Not allowed to bet on it according to some, but let's dive into it. What are your thoughts? And then we'll come to Ed.
Well, I guess the first thing is that we've got a really nice field here. You've got Catalyst coming back. You've got Demonetisation in there. Tavi Max there. Alan Sharrock's bringing 3 horses up from the Naki. He knows how to get his horses ready, and he's got Butler in there, Darcy Labella. Rosenpower's a nice horse as well. And there's a lot of chances in this. And then, of course, you've got the boom horse Imperatriz. And now I was lucky enough to go to the Tiako soiree. And for those people that don't know, Tiako, sort of the leading stable and have been for a number of years, and leading trainer. And Mark Walker's back to train now. And I think he won 6 from 9 races during the week the other day. So he just does it for fun. But anyway, they've got this horse called Imperatriz, and Opie Boston's on. He's one of our best jockeys. And they were talking already at this event that they had about where Imperatriz is going, and we're going to Australia, we're going to the wherever it was, Golden Rose, I think. I think I put a bet on that night. But they're obviously keen to get beyond New Zealand and have a crack at the Australians. So they know this thing is obviously good, and we've already seen that. But $1.90 on Saturday, they're going to have to. The rest of the field are going to have to be very good to beat it. And that's obviously why the tab have opened it so short. But I'm really looking forward to seeing these horses back on the track. And Tiako like to win at Te Rapa as well. They've got a bit of a attachment to that. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw this hot favourite put 2 lengths on them and just be simply too good for them. And you look back at it in a year's time and go, yeah, well, shit, I should have been backing that.
I really don't mind it drawing wide either. I think later in the day the track might be a bit chopped up. Looks pretty wet down there at Cambridge, so... Te Rapa, sorry, and I think that'll certainly suit it.
Yeah, we heard from, we do have a tip from Butch, not just quite yet, but Butch Castles, the CEO of Waikato Racing Club, yesterday mentioned that the rail is going to be in, but at that time of the day expecting them to go out on the centre track a little bit. So, like you say, the wider barrier draws might be the ones to look out on that by that time of the day. Look, you mentioned Catalyst, people are getting pretty wound up about this horse after a couple of trials. It's been away for a long time. Catalyst, for those who aren't aware, went over to Australia, I think 2 seasons ago, and had a real head-to-head battle with a horse called Alligator Blood in a Group 1 race over there. It was unbelievable to watch, and it's finally making its first appearance after many, many injuries. It's now with Tony Pike's stable. What are your thoughts on these trials?
Yeah, well, this horse was sort of going to be the pin-up horse for New Zealand racing, which is really cool because we need that, and that's a great way to get people involved in the sport and have something to watch. And it was a big part of our Karaka Million night a couple of years ago, and then unfortunately things went amiss. But it's just so good to see it back, and Tony Pike's got it back, which is cool. Drawn out barrier 12. There's no money on it. The Pike stable, they don't mind having a bet. It's 15s out to 21. True. So for me, that would suggest let's just have a wait and see and just watch this one. I wouldn't be having a bet on Catalyst, but I hope that the horse comes back in its first race here and shows signs of being able to get back to what was its former glory as such.
I don't mind Field of Gold's trial in the heavy 10 there. Sort of just was very well held to the line and sort of cruised through it. And Kozi Asano on board. He's a good jockey, so he's got a bit of purpose to ride forward. And Barry 8's got plenty of opportunity to maybe throw a bit of a roughie in the works.
Field of Gold was good last year at the start of the season, eh? At these types of distances, taking the lead, it was a good horse.
Yeah, loves Tarapa as well, 2 from 2 at the course, and that's often what you need. So the tricky thing about Tarapa can be, a lot of people say that there's a leader's bias, and so you watch the first couple of races, but then do the jockeys sort of ride towards that, and then it starts to even up as the day goes by. But yeah, maybe, I think come, race number 6 on Saturday, they're all going to be going for the prize money and putting their horse in the race, and it'll just turn out to be who's the fittest and who's there ready to win for this race and on the way up.
Green Luck, Ed, flying the flag for the Southerners. Mate, what's going on there? Paying 51 and 750. Any thoughts?
Well, it did put on a few dominant displays on the synthetic track down there, Riccarton. And then sort of been up in the weights, and, everyone else has been carrying sort of 54s, and, it's just sort of been whacking away. But, it's well weighted in there. I think it's a decent alley. What's it drawn? Barrier 4. So, Jason Laking hops on. He's a good jockey. Could probably be the far end, but
a top 10 chance, you reckon?
I wouldn't be too harsh about that. But
nah, fair.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the worst.
And mate, Luke Butler, you're pretty close to this horse.
Yeah,
I think I saw Alan Sharrock said on Tuesday or Wednesday that it's probably, given the heavy track conditions, his preferred horse out of the 3.
Yeah, which is good to see. The partner, her family have got shares in this one, so they're already up from the deep south, but further south than you, mate, down there in Invercargill, but they've come up to watch, and I said last night, you just got to embrace it and be excited for it, because it's not every day that you get a horse in a race like this, and then maybe kicking on beyond that as well. So he's got to really show up and actually see if he can match it with some of this level of athlete in this field, because some of these have performed at a higher standard already, i.e. Imperatriz, knocking around in Group 1s for fun. So, that they'll be happy if he runs in the top 3. And, yeah, I think he can give this a good shake, and Jonathan Riddell's on. He'll make sure that he, has a good crack at him. So I can't wait to get down there on Saturday and see how he goes.
Yeah, I reckon outside of the Imperatriz, basically the bookies are saying it's going to win. Outside of Imperatriz, it could be quite wide open. And
the Butler was a chance not to make the field, and Ted was rigging me saying, I think he'll get in, Luke. I think he'll get in. And I was in a meeting with a client down in the Naki, and my phone rang, and it was Ted, and it was Tuesday, and the fields had just come out, and I thought, Butler's obviously got in. So Ted is fired up for Butler, which is good to see. So I rang Ted on the way back when I got in the car back to Auckland, and I was saying, there's a few good horses in here, so you don't need to worry about any of those other horses, Luke. So Ted really likes Butler.
There you go.
Yeah.
Ed, let's start from you, mate. Who do you like? What if you're having a punt on the Foxbridge on Saturday? Where are you betting?
Ooh, that is a mighty fine question. You know what? Most people do talk about the fixed odds, win bet, but there's plenty of other things you can bet on. There's Quinellas, there's, first 4s, trifectas, there's all sorts, there's top 4s, power plays even. I think we're putting one in for that we worked with the TAB.
Great reminder.
I think it is Butler to run a top 4 and Imperatriz to win. And that's paying $3.50.
That's one of them, yep.
Yep. So that's a bit of a power play that's tickling me. I wouldn't mind having a few, each way on Field of Gold. Just thought, the course, track and distance, it's a few green ticks there for me. Nice trial to prepare, decent alley, can roll forward and get some of that.
Interesting. Field of Gold. He's mentioned that a couple of times now. Luke, what do you reckon?
I've got to put the old Tiaco machine on top. That's a very good horse and on the way up. And, I think that OP will get this horse in the right part of the track come race number 6 there, and should be too good for them. You've got to find a horse like Butler, for instance, or Catalyst turn up again and just go, what, I am an absolute freak, and then we learn from that start. Wow, shit, okay, we didn't know that. But you've got to, I think with these races, you've got to find the horses that have been there and done it before, and then you go back through the history of a race like this and look at who's won these races previously, and you go, Group 1 winner, gone on to perform, done very well, like good, sound, quality horses, and I think Imperatriz is that horse. So $1.90, pretty short, but should be a home run.
Yeah, it's a really good point, actually. Mascarpone won this last year and went on to win the Wait for Age Classic, which is the last Group 1 of the season. Avantage, unbelievable horse, won it 2 years ago as well. So you're 100% right on that. I'm
What
going
about yourself, mate?
I'm going rough. I'm
Hey,
going real rough.
I love it.
Imperature's $1.90. I'm not that keen.
Green luck rough.
Oh no, not green luck. No.
Sell the house rough?
I'm going not sell the house rough. I'm going to go a top 4 bet. I bet on Pre Defer last week, and it came in third place, just sneaky at 240.
Great bet.
This might be even worse, but Gino Severini in top 4.
You've always had a little bit of a hard on for this horse, haven't you?
Fuck, it's great. This horse is awesome. It always puts in a good race. 2020 first 3 starts it ran in the money. 2021 it started out in this race and ran second, paying $105. Then ran fourth on the Tarzino. Both of those runs were on heavy and soft going. Won the Japan Trophy at the end of the season. It's got no trials, but if it runs up to that same Foxbridge performance as last season, mate, this race isn't as good as last year's, right?
Well, are you all good to bring a trailer down to Te Rapa with you on Saturday? Because if this thing
If
gets
this
up,
thing wins.
You're clutching at straws.
more cash than we know what to do with, and it's probably going to be flying off the back on the way back to Auckland. It's 110k speed limit on the way back too. You're going to have to bring a tarpaulin.
I told you the bloke that said about the $1.35 punt scared me this morning. I've had to find something real wide.
I like it. Hey, we don't just tip the $1.30 shots around here.
I might put a 20
There's
on
also
the top 4.
There's also something you can do with these big races if there's something that's definitely probably a high chance that it's going to win. $1.90 or $1.50, whatever you want. You can lock that in as the moral for the first placed horse, and build like a trifecta or first 4 around them with a few of our roughies that we've mentioned, and you might be able to get a bit more of a collect that way. And that's just another way you can sort of play this race, because there isn't that much fun sometimes if you're just the average Joe punter just doing $1.90 and then it loses and you go, fuck, could have had a bit more value there, but it's just another way you could do it by locking in sort of an anchor Imperatriz and then go from there.
Gino Severini then, eh?
Exactly.
Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. Okay,
Good man. I like it, mate. Back yourself.
let's see how we go. Well, we caught up with Butch Castles last night, the CEO of Waikato Racing Club. He's a man in the know, and he gave us his thoughts on who's going to win this race.
In the Waikato Studs Foxbridge Plate, I'd be having Butler for a place. I think he'll run in 3. I don't know if he can beat Imperatrice. He's going to get his chance with the way the track will be heavy. She is an absolute class act. I'd expect her to be named as 3-year-old of the year at the upcoming NZTR Awards on the fact she won the 2 Group 1s. Look, if he beats her on Saturday and she gets a better track at Hawke's Bay, then she may well turn the tide. But I thought Butler for a place would be a very good bet on Saturday.
There he is, Butch. Mate, throwing out $1.60 place bets. Like, come on. Surely.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. There's inflation at the moment. The banks are up to fuck all, and he's just giving out $1.60. That's
Just
just
lock, run it through your multis.
yeah.
Yeah. Nah, he's probably bang on.
$1.65 now as well.
Oh, true. It's gone out. They don't want to listen to Butch.
You
Mate,
beauty.
thanks so much for your inputs, as always, Butch. Hopefully the day goes well on Saturday. And if you're keen on Butler, jump on the place at $1.65. Before we move on, we've done pretty well here, lads. Like, this is unbelievable after a slow start. We're really churning it out here. It's going well. The Mimsy Stakes on Saturday is a big Group 1 race out of Australia, and we've actually got 4 New Zealand horses in it, which is awesome, unbelievable. And for those again out there that haven't really had too much to do with horse racing in New Zealand, these horses are really flying the flag over there for us. So if you do get a chance to tune in, it's what is it, Caulfield
Race 8.
Caulfield Race 8. Dragon Leap, who was actually supposed to run in the Foxbridge Plate this Saturday, but has opted for the Australian Group 1. Call sign Mav, who
Call
won.
sign Billy Mav.
Call sign Billy Mav, as in
8%.
RTD 8%. Boy, okay.
Sorry about interrupting you.
No, please interrupt more. It's good. So call sign Mav won 2 of the 3 Group 1s in spring last season. Elephant, a real cult hero, hell of a horse. Didn't start out that well a couple of weeks ago, but top horse. And Tefane, who's an absolute superstar over there. Bred in New Zealand, and the people just love it. So, yeah, if you get the opportunity to tune in. Lads, any thoughts on those, Luke?
Really, really good race, and awesome to see so many Kiwis in there. Kiwi breeding as well. Tefane's in there. We've got the likes of I'm Thunderstruck as well, bred here in New Zealand by Shocking. I actually like the horse that could be on the gear. You just never know. Alligator Blood.
Excuse me?
Well, there's been a bit of
Are we allowed to
controversy.
say that?
I'm not sure.
Oh, is it the crack pipe found in the stable? Is that right?
Well, no, Alligator Blood, there was rumours that it wasn't actually going to be allowed to race this spring in Victoria, but it's been cleared to race. $5 and $2. I shouldn't say such defamatory statements like that. But
Yeah, you've had a few too many export golds there.
Yeah, are these low
Pack it in.
$5 and $2 for me. I think that's that's going to be the horse that is going to trouble Tefane. So I might take a Quinella with those two.
Barrier 1, that always helps. I'm not too keen on any of them, really. I think it's a very good spectacle race for me. I don't know if I'd lean towards maybe Tefane fresh up. Do like the horse, and obviously got bought for a ridiculous amount of money. Wouldn't be able to tell off the top of my head, but Barrier 3, yeah, bit of money on $750 into $650.
Ocean Park out of Baggy Green. Hell of a horse, Tefane. Will go on to be a great mother.
Good.
Hopefully we can get another Group 1 before that. Anything you like in there, mate?
Mate,
You'll be back in the Elephant. You'll actually, I'll tell you what will be happening
What are you
for
trying
you.
to say?
Ruffy's all that.
6:45 p.m. You'll be on the side of the road on the motorway. You will be trying to pull the tarpaulin down on the bloody Gino Severini cash.
Hey, I reckon Gino Severini is going to come home. It's going to be flying home. What Luke's alluding to, we're all heading to the races on Saturday, Hamilton. So we'll be having a few beers. We'll be setting some content out. But I'm driving, and I'm devastated to find out that actually the lads are going to be having some beers. You drop me in it here.
I think we're going down for a kombucha or three. Well, pastry, kombucha, and just the gentle stroll back.
Mate, we'll be right. We'll be right. Right.
And I've never been to Tarapa either, so
you
popping the
thought it was
cherry
in
on that.
Cambridge, so
Yeah, okay.
Have you been to Hamilton before?
Throw it at me.
Been to Hamilton?
No.
Really?
Never been to the Tron.
We might leave you down there, I reckon. See what you come back with.
Well, isn't the goat down in Mawutu?
Spreading into the North Island.
Ed, we're leaving at 5 p.m. sharp, mate. I've got to be home.
Yeah,
Right?
good man.
Let's do
Okay,
that.
cheers, Dad.
Right.
T.R. Mutu.
Righto, lads. Look, before we get into some best bets, Ed, you mentioned around the power plays. Luke, what are the TAB or the BG? Are we calling them the BGP TAB power plays? It's a mouthful, but
Bloody oath we are. So a power play is where we effectively come up with something that we like in a race or an event. And we've obviously been racing fans. We've gone this week for the Foxbridge, which is race number 6 at Te Rapa. And what we like is Butler and Tabby Mac, so two horses from Alan Sharrock's stable to run in the top 4. And they've given us $4. So if you go to the TAB's homepage or racing page, you'll be able to find that. The other power play that we like in this is Imperatriz, the good horse, the $1.90 shot to win, and Butler to run in the top 4, which, as you heard Butch say, should be placing. So we're hoping the good horse wins and Butler runs in the top 4, even, maybe gets a bit too far back, runs 4th, his first crack at some of these good horses. We're getting $3.50 around that. So those are sort of set up for us, and the more money that goes on, the odds could decrease a little bit, but those are two things that we've chosen for this week, and I think that punters can get off to a good spring by having a crack at both of those.
have you put your house on one of those, Ed?
My house isn't very big. It's
right.
in Mount Wellington, and it's on the 3rd story, but it's tidy.
You don't own it either, probably.
No,
Oh.
just renting away.
You can't put it on then. All right.
Bumper to bumper traffic at 11 a.m. on the way to work.
Welcome to Auckland.
Hey, welcome to Auckland.
The 09.
Unbelievable. So we're going to have one of those power plays every week, right? And they're chosen by you, Luke. Is that right?
If we like something, we won't do it for the sake of it. We'll do it when we really like something.
Cool.
And sometimes it might be a couple of Kiwi horses over in Australia. It'd just be something that we think we can have a crack at the TAB with, and hopefully they'll have the balls to put it up, and we can all have a crack collectively as a community.
Brilliant. Righto, lads. Let's wrap it up with our best bets of the weekend. Hopefully everybody's been able to handle our punishing chat for the last 30 minutes, and you're still hanging on in there for a bet for the weekend. If you don't like Gino Severini, I'm sure there's something else out there for you to like. So, Ed, mate, what's your best bet? And again, to the community, you're a harness racing expert, right? So you're going to come at us with a harness racing tip.
Well, harness racing expert. I try. I'll take that on. Righto. Well, my best bet is actually going to be running around in Wagga tomorrow night in Aussie. Zambia. Used to be with Paul Kerr, I think, trained over here. Ex-Kiwi, running around some very sound races, has some handy gate speed, and should be able to hold up from the inside and retain like a nice prominent position. And it has been racing some better class horses. So, it's definitely back in class. I think it's been racing and rating up to NR80 over there, and it's in a 63 tomorrow or a 65. So I think it can take this one out from Barrier 1 and be pretty hard to beat. Then I've also got the GOAT. The GOAT's hit me up with a couple of, just with one of his, and his is Mustang Valley. I think that is in race 2.
Yeah.
Race 2, yep, and it's drawn in Barrier 10. That's paying a nice cheeky quote of $2.50, and it beat home Imperatriz home on a wet track last spring. She's a quality filly. She should be too strong for that field, is what he had to say. And Matt from Punt IQ, he's putting in some of God's work over there in Aussie, and he's been kind enough to give us his best bet of the weekend, and that is Aft Cabin. I think it's a James Cummins horse, is it? And barrier $3.30 into $2.30, so the money is on there.
Jesus.
The money is on there.
Into $2.30 already.
I've eaten the mic there.
Wow. Okay.
Money's on.
Good, righto. Those are some credible punters there, people. Luke, what have you got?
Mate, I guess before I get into mine, if people want to leave a comment with their best bet for the weekend, we will find someone to put a $100 bet on one of their best bets before we get to Saturday's racing, and we'll reply to you before we get there. So feel free to leave a comment and tell us who you will be backing this weekend or who you think your best bet is, and we'll select one of you and we'll whack $100 on that for you. And if it gets up, then you'll never hear from us, or we'll get your bank account and we'll send it over. But for me, I actually like Mustang Valley as well, so it's good to know that I'm on the same page as the GOAT. The GOAT and I, plus Ted, we often do the Punters Club together, and it's always good to ring the GOAT and find out if he likes one of the horses that I like. So $2.50 around Mustang Valley, Te Rapa race number 2. This horse goes pretty good at Te Rapa, very well at Te Rapa, goes good first up, won't mind the fact that it is wet. Very nice trial the other day. And I've also got Ted's best bet. He tells me that race number 5 at Te Rapa, Rose Crescent each way. I think we're getting $6.50 and $2.40 around this horse. Remember that the first 4 races at Te Rapa, if you back a horse on the fixed odds and your horse comes 2nd, 3rd or 4th and you back it to win, you will get a bonus back if it doesn't win but it runs 2nd, 3rd or 4th. So it's often a good way to have a crack early on in the day, something that you like. So Mustang Valley, for instance, if you chuck $50 on it to win in the second race and it runs 2nd, 3rd or 4th, you'll actually get a bonus bet back into your account.
This will be a good time to mention that Matt's going to be back from Punt IQ, giving us his 4 selections of the first races at Caulfield and Rose Hill.
Very spot on. So we'll send an email out tomorrow for those people who get the BGP email, and if you want to get that, jump on the website, boysgetpaid.com, and sign up to the newsletter. And every Friday we send out a way to try and have a crack at the bookies. So at the moment they are doing a promotion in New Zealand where if your horse runs 2nd, 3rd or 4th and you've backed it to win, you get a bonus bet. So we'll suggest the horses that you should be having a crack at in those races if you do like to bet race to race. What about you, mate? What do you got for us? Gino.
Apart from that, I've gone race 7, RJ's Flight. It's a maiden race, so I wouldn't normally like to make it a best bet of the day, but it's had 2 pretty good runs, and you'd hope that 3rd up it'd be ready to go. It's run a close second behind Red Vienna. Didn't have much luck in the race. 2nd up was second behind Shockatillatap, who went on last week at Ruakaka to run a really nice race behind Son of a Butcher. It was a close second in the Avondale Guineas and a close 3rd in the Waikato Guineas last year. 3rd up, 1,600 metres, RJ's Flight. I think it's paying $2.70 in race 7 at Te Rapa. So that'll be my bet of the day.
Good man. Load that up, get that, and then put it all on Gino to run top 4.
Oh, yeah, true.
You're going to have so much money.
Mate, Gino comes before it, unfortunately, so I'll put all my winnings from Gino on RJ.
Reserve Bank are going to have to get a hold of you, mate, to get some cash back off you. I love it.
We're going to be in trouble. Lads, this has been fun, but I think we've run out of time, unfortunately.
Go for another couple of days, wouldn't we?
Surely.
Just keep going.
If you guys have enjoyed us, though, there are going to be some weekends or Saturdays across the summer that we're going to be basically sitting in here, punting, drinking Export Gold, hopefully a little bit of food in between, and winning some money. So, yeah, this partnership with the ACC coming live from the Export Beer Garden studio is really exciting for us, and we can't wait to bring a whole lot more content, particularly starting this Saturday. We're all at the Foxbridge Plate down at Te Rapa. It's going to be a good day, Luke.
Yeah, jump on the old Instagram and have a look at what we're up to behind the scenes if you're only hearing this for the first time. As well, some of our original community, you might want to actually put your hand up and come on the podcast one Thursday evening if you like. We're going to try and do this every evening as we had, so we'll get the odd special guest along the way. We're going to be doing some feature podcasts as well as we lead into Cup Week, for instance, and a few different interviews with different people that we think you might want to hear from. So as always with our content, it's a community thing. So if there's things that you want to know about, you want to learn about, or people you want to hear from, then simply let us know, and we are all ears, and we're always up for different ideas that you have. So in the meantime, get the BGP app, follow us on Instagram. We're loading the TikTok up. Edgar's in charge of that, mate. We'll get some scenes on there on Saturday, no doubt, and hopefully we can find you a few winners along the way.
And I'll be doing a podcast tomorrow morning for the harness aspect for this weekend, because there's plenty of races on to be had, and I'll try find some form horses for you guys to back, and hopefully find a few winners or two. And just, of course, we're looking at the live stream here. We've got about 80 of you in here. Make sure you hit the comment section and give us your best bet, and we might be able to give you that $100. What is it? $100 bet.
$100 bet. You tell us you've got 10 best bets in the harness over the weekend.
I do punish the form books a bit too much. But
Spend the whole day in the form book.
Yeah. Well, I love it. So
good man.
Yeah,
that's all right,
mate. And they
Expect
all
9 winners.
It's good stuff. And mate, welcome to Auckland. It's bloody good to have you.
It's Well, thanks for having me here. It's sort of like a surreal moment, really. I'm now in the ACC studio talking to the boys about bloody horses. I mean, what's not to like? I'm in heaven right now.
Here he is.
How good.
Simply very happy.
And we shouldn't go out without saying thanks to our fantastic producers, Adam and Joe. We said we'd give them a shout out. You guys have been awesome.
Thanks, lads.
Thanks, lads.
Thank you, Export Gold.
Yeah, thank you,
the nice brews helped me ease on into the first podcast.
Happy
Thanks,
punting
mate.
out there on Saturday, everybody. Gamble responsibly, but enjoy yourselves. Have a few beers and enjoy the racing. Thanks
Good
very
luck.
much.